Hey guys, what's going on? Faramar here. Just wanted to release a new video that is more PvE oriented. So something that I had stated in some things that I had stated in my previous video were kind of just my knee-jerk reaction to the changes of the patch. They had a very little amount of research done by me, and overall was what I was feeling at the time, right? And it was basically first day of the patch. Didn't have a whole lot of time to check it out. Can't be correct all the time. And I'm not going to say that everything I said was wrong either. There was a lot of things that were correct, right? Like the rotation, things like that. That's basically not going to change because they haven't made any changes to our talents, anything like that, since the 8.1 release. So that talent build that I had given you is still going to be number one. Yeah, so the things that I wanted to correct were what I said about the stats, the stat priorities, as well as the Azerite traits, right? So I'll kind of be going over, in this video particularly, I'm going to stick with old era rating, but I will kind of cover what I think is going to be the Azerite trait of choice for the next raid, because I don't know, and I don't know if anybody else knows. Please leave a comment down below if you do. Whether or not there's going to be another reorigination raid kind of mechanic going into the next raid. So I'll kind of lay out the Azerite traits I think are going to be good there, based on that information. If there is going to be a reorigination raid kind of mechanic, then I'm sure that Azerite trait will take over in being the best eventually at some point in the raid. So let's go ahead and jump into this. As you can see here, it's not the clearest thing because my talents when I was streaming this is just a recording from my stream. My talents here are going to be Sabertooth, Wild Charge, Balance Affinity, Mighty Bash, into Soul of the Forest, Brutal Slash, and Blood Talents. You can't really see the Soul of the Forest portion. You can kind of see the right here, the Blood Talents and the Brutal Slash. But anyways, this is going to be our strongest single target spec. This is what I went over in my previous videos. So check that out if you want, you know, kind of additional information. But the things I'm going to set straight here are the Azerite traits and the stat priorities. So stat priorities are something that I kind of jumped into. There were two major changes that Ferals had received in 8.1. One being we were going to have less haste. Our haste scaling was nerfed a little bit, right? We started out with, at the beginning of BFA, we had that 50% hidden buff, then they reduced it to 25%, and then this patch they actually got rid of that completely. So our haste scaling is on par with everybody else now, assuming no other class has like a hidden kind of haste scaling. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Yeah, so they nerfed that, and the other big change was our mastery now affects all of our finishers, including Ferocious Bite and Maim, right? So, with that in mind, my first reaction is, there's no way haste is going to be our number one, and mastery has got to be, you know, a great chunk of our damage, right? So, I jumped along the mastery train, right? So, some things to think about, and things that I did not I did not take into account going into 8.1 was how valuable haste was before to our energy regen, right? I understood it was good, but I didn't understand how to actually kind of mitigate that hit to our energy regen, right? So some things that to take into consideration here are crit. So if you look at all the sims now, our number one stat is actually crit. And the reason crit is our number one stat is because we're running Soul of the Forest right now, right? Even with Savage Roar being our energy regen choice, right? We with one of those, we are still... if you think about the way crit works, right? With Ferals, when you crit on something with a combo point generating ability, you're going to be generating 2 combo points rather than 1. So if you have more crit, you're going to be using more finishers, and when you're using more finishers, right, whether that be with Soul of the Forest or you're spending your combo points on Savage Roar, it's giving you more efficient, more reliable energy regen, right? Not only that, but it's also allowing our bleeds to crit, and it's also allowing our first spites to crit, which does more damage, right? So it's kind of a mix between mastery and crit right now. Our number one stat is crit, right? You want crit to be your primary focus of stats. Our number two stat is going to be mastery now. So if you are following that, right, I recommend that you use like Simulation Craft or Raid Bots, something like that, to kind of gauge what your gear level is and what stats you need more. Haste was marked as my last in my sim, and the reason I think Haste was marked last was because I have the Gale Boons, what's it called? Gale Colors Boon trinket. So that basically is the, it's like the 1 minute cooldown trinket that gives me like 1300 haste or something like that. And that's a really strong way to boost my haste, right? When I get that, I immediately jump to about 30% haste, and that's every minute, so it's pretty big. So haste is not my second or third stat. In fact, haste is my least valuable stat with my current gear setup. It might be different for some of you, but I believe that haste is going to be probably equal to versatility. And like I said, I recommend that you sim to kind of check that out. But essentially, you want to be going number one stat is crit. You're in a gem all crit, and your weapon enchant though. Weapon enchant is actually recommended to be the haste weapon enchant. I think that's basically to just kind of be that other subsidiary, that other subsidiary to the haste, right? So what's it going to do is it's going to give you about 600 haste on its maximum proc, and that'll help kind of keep your haste going, right? Which helps with the energy regen, just not as reliably as crit does right now. So that's kind of the thought process there, right? Also, if you know, as a feral druid, your rotation is much cleaner and much smoother because of your energy regen. You'll notice it immediately once you get your once you get crit into your number one. I've got about 27% crit, about 40% crit with re-regeneration ray. So that leads me into my next thing, Azerite traits. So your number one Azerite traits are going to, let me restate that. Your top 3 Azerite traits are going to be 1, Archive or Laser Matrix. It's very close battle there. It doesn't really it doesn't matter which one you choose there. They're very close. So you can choose Laser Matrix or Archive of the Titans, and that's just to get the big boon of secondary power on your, that secondary stat boost on your raids and Old Year. And then next is actually 1 Jungle Fury and 1 Blightborn Infusion. I don't like the way Blightborn Infusion plays, right? I don't think it's very fun to have to go and collect, some little particle that's on the ground somewhere. It's kind of hard to see. It's not very fun. I don't like the mechanic of it. So me personally, I'm actually running 2 Jungle Fury, even though I do have a Blightborn Infusion. It's only about a 0.3% increase, which, you know, if you're number crunching, that can be quite a bit, but that's essentially it. So yeah, and then when the next raid tier comes out, assuming we don't have like a re-origination ray kind of mechanic or anything like that, roughly, if you're looking right now, if you check out like herodamage.com or something like that, 3 Iron Jaws is actually very powerful. It's almost as good as having an Archive, right? So if you've got 3 Iron Jaws, I think that's going to be the new thing. And assuming that maintains power, I'm going to have to release another video to kind of go over the rotation to include Maim into the rotation and not only be using Ferocious Bites. So it's something to kind of think about. Anyways, that's all I really wanted to say. I'm going to be releasing a Keystone video probably tomorrow. Although I am going on vacation tomorrow, so I'll try and get it uploaded before I get on the plane. I'll be playing those games tonight. So if anybody wants to watch out on my stream or anything like that, I will be streaming them live. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I just kind of wanted to help clarify some of the things that I had previously said in a previous video. So if you like the videos, please subscribe. Like it. If you dislike the video, please let me know why. I would like to keep building and keep improving my videos. The community here has been fantastic, and I really appreciate all the feedback that you guys all have been giving me. Mostly it's positive, but if you have negative feedback, please let me know, because I am not afraid of negative feedback, and I would like to keep my videos maintaining some high quality for you guys, just to, you know, kind of to keep you guys in the loop with how to play Feral. So anyways, thank you for watching, and yeah, have a good one.